Vivian Vance's life was far more complicated than the lovable, witty Ethel Mertz she portrayed on I Love Lucy. Many people remember her as a comical sidekick, the neighbor, and the perfect foil to Lucille Ball's energetic Lucy Ricardo. But the reality of her career and personal life was far darker, richer, and more compelling than television ever let on. Vivian Roberta Jones, born on July 26, 1909, in Cherryvale, Kansas, entered a world that would challenge her from the very beginning. Her childhood home was not filled with laughter or warmth, but with strict Methodist rules, and a mother who believed that acting was shameful, even sinful. From the earliest years, Vivian's natural love for entertaining clashed with her mother's rigid beliefs, and she often found herself punished with a spark that made her special. While other children might have felt supported, Vivian learned early that her creativity was unwelcome. Her family, steeped in tradition, expected conformity, and she became aware very young that her path would be harder than most. This internal conflict shaped the way she approached life, instilling a mixture of resilience, independence, and a desire to escape. It is often said that childhood experiences leave lasting imprints, and for Vivian, the lack of support at home became a motivator, driving her to seek freedom and recognition elsewhere. She was determined to follow her passion despite societal and familial pressures. When her family moved to Independence, Kansas, Vivian's rebellious spirit found an outlet. She started sneaking out at night, not to defy her family aimlessly, but to pursue freedom in the arts. She wanted to sing, dance, and perform on stage, even if those dreams were considered wrong in her household. School became a refuge, and she discovered allies who encouraged her talent. A drama teacher, Anna Engelman, recognized Vivian's potential and nurtured it, giving her space to explore her abilities and build confidence. Beyond the classroom, Vivian engaged in cheerleading, beauty contests, and early performances, gradually discovered her love for being in the spotlight. Yet, despite the encouragement from teachers and peers, the home environment remained oppressive. Vivian's mother consistently attempted to quash her ambitions, and the more Vivian pursued her dreams, the more she faced opposition. Over time, this conflict strengthened her resolve. It created a woman who would not easily bow to authority, rejection, or societal expectation. The nickname Viv emerged during this period, likely as a symbol of the freedom she craved, an identity separate from the confines of her family life. At some point, she made a decisive choice to transform her personal and professional identity. She dropped her family surname, Jones, and chose the stage name Vivian Vance, inspired by Vance Randolph, a folklorist whose stories likely resonated with her desire for freedom and individuality. This moment symbolized her commitment to herself, her craft, and her independence. She left Kansas behind and moved to Tulsa, chasing stages, auditions, and opportunities to create a life on her own terms. With minimal financial resources but abundant determination, she began her journey into the theater world, performing in local productions and gradually gaining recognition. Her performances at the Albuquerque Little Theater and other local stages were praised, and the community even organized a benefit to help her move to New York, demonstrating that her talent could not be ignored. By the early 1930s, Vivian was navigating the challenges of New York, balancing odd jobs by day with auditions by night, enduring rejection while nurturing a burning ambition to succeed. Her perseverance eventually led to her first Broadway opportunity in Music in the Air, and soon after, she became a notable presence in musicals, theater productions, and later, the television industry. Vivian's early career, however, was not without personal struggles. She married young, first to Joseph Danek Jr., then later to actor Philip Ober. Both marriages brought pain and heartbreak, with the latter being marked by abuse, creating additional emotional challenges she had to endure while pursuing professional success. Despite these difficulties, Vivian remained dedicated to her craft, continuing to perform and honing her comedic timing, musical talent, and acting ability. Her breakthrough came when she was cast as Ethel Mertz in I Love Lucy in 1951. Though she was already a seasoned performer, many viewers did not realize the depth of her talent or the struggles that preceded her television success. Misconceptions about her career, including the famous myth that she signed a contract to gain weight to make Lucy look slimmer, persisted for decades. The truth, however, was much simpler and far more human. She naturally gained weight over time, and the contract was a joke that Lucy Ball made at a party Vivian's time on I Love Lucy was marked by both triumphs and tribulations. She shared the screen with Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz, and William Frawley, but the relationships behind the cameras were far from perfect. Frawley, her on-screen husband, harbored resentment towards her from the beginning, and their tension was palpable. While some of their interactions were playful on-screen, off-screen conflicts included verbal clashes and a palpable dislike that persisted for years. Even her dynamic with Lucy was complex. They argued, collaborated, and ultimately created magic that audiences adored. Vivian's comedic timing and ability to match Lucy's energy helped solidify the show's legacy, but the personal toll was significant. She endured long hours, exhausting filming conditions, and even the famous chocolate factory scene required her to perform under stressful, physically demanding circumstances. Yet, her dedication and professionalism helped cement her status as a beloved television icon. Her Emmy win in 1954 for Outstanding Supporting Actress was a milestone that demonstrated her immense talent, but it also came with its own challenges. The recognition validated her skill, but simultaneously reinforced her association with the role of Ethel, creating typecasting that would follow her for years. Despite this, Vivian continued to assert herself professionally, negotiating higher pay and more creative input, a rare feat for women in the television industry during that era. She navigated fame with caution, often facing obsessive fans and personal stressors, but she maintained her dignity and professionalism throughout. The later years of her career, including appearances on The Lucy Show, commercials, and attempts to return to Broadway, showcased her versatility and persistence, even as she faced rejection and typecasting. Vivian Vance's story is one of resilience, talent, and a relentless pursuit of self-expression. She transformed personal pain and professional setbacks into performances that entertained millions while maintaining her identity and personal values. Her legacy extends far beyond the role of Ethel Mertz. She paved the way for women in comedy, broke stereotypes in television, and demonstrated the importance of pursuing one's passion despite obstacles. Vivian Vance's journey through I Love Lucy was not just a career milestone. It was a daily negotiation between talent, personality, and the pressures of early television fame. While audiences saw the perfect comedic duo of Lucy and Ethel, the reality behind the camera was much more complicated and, at times, tense. Her on-screen husband, William Frawley, often clashed with her personality and approach to acting. Frawley, much older and accustomed to being the center of attention, resented Vivian's energy and independence. From the very beginning, their relationship was fraught with friction, with Frawley perceiving her as a challenge to his authority and position on the set. This tension, however, became part of the show's authenticity. The friction between the actors added depth to their comedic timing and subtle nuances that audiences could sense even if they didn't know the details. Off-camera, Vivian often had to navigate Frawley's mood swings, drinking habits, and confrontational nature. It was not uncommon for her to demand separate dressing rooms just to maintain her sanity and sense of personal space. Despite these challenges, she remained professional and committed, understanding that her personal discomfort was secondary to the success of the show. Her resilience in dealing with these conflicts demonstrated her maturity and dedication as an actress. Even Lucille Ball, the star and often controlling presence on set, could not deny Vivian's talent. While Ball had strong opinions about how scenes should unfold, she recognized that Vivian's natural comedic instincts elevated the material. Their partnership was a complex blend of rivalry and friendship, argument and collaboration. Arguments sometimes sparked laughter, and laughter sometimes sparked arguments. In many ways, the conflicts created a chemistry that translated beautifully on screen, making the dynamic between Lucy and Ethel timeless. One of the most iconic moments that illustrates Vivian's dedication is the Chocolate Factory episode, filmed in 1952. On screen, it appeared chaotic and humorous as Lucy and Ethel struggled to keep up with the conveyor belt, but behind the scenes, it was physically demanding and repetitive. Vivian had to eat chocolate over and over, take after take, often until she felt sick. These grueling conditions tested her stamina, patience, and commitment to the craft. Yet, she never complained publicly. Instead, she allowed her talent to shine and created an iconic performance that would be remembered for generations. Another example is the Vita Mia Tagamine commercial sketch, where early television often pushed actors to unsafe limits. The prop tonic used in the sketch contained 23% alcohol, and both Lucy and Vivian had to perform under its effects repeatedly, further demonstrating the dedication required to create entertainment in a medium still in its infancy. Amidst these trials, Vivian's recognition grew. In 1953, she won the first-ever Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress for a role as Ethel Mertz. This award was groundbreaking, not only for her personally, but for all supporting actors in television. It validated the importance of side characters and highlighted Vivian's immense contribution to the medium. Yet, even with this recognition, she felt confined. The Emmy solidified her association with Ethel, and though it proved her talent, it also typecast her in the public eye. Vivian had once been a versatile Broadway performer capable of dramatic and musical roles, but audiences and industry professionals now primarily saw her as a comedic sidekick. This duality created tension in her career, a mixture of triumph and limitation. Money and contracts also became points of negotiation. In the early seasons of I Love Lucy, she earned $280 per week, equal to Frawley, but by season 6, her salary had grown to $7,500 per week. These increases were not merely luck. They were a result of her persistence, strategic negotiation, and willingness to advocate for herself at a time when women rarely demanded better pay in Hollywood. Even when she transitioned to The Lucy Show in 1962, she continued to assert herself, asking for top billing, improved wardrobe, and creative input. Vivian's understanding of her worth reflected both her self-respect and the lessons learned from years of struggle, proving she would not settle for mediocrity or exploitation, regardless of fame or recognition. While professional achievements were significant, the personal toll remained. Fans adored her, sending thousands of letters weekly, some heartfelt, others intrusive or even frightening. Vivian had a higher personal security to navigate the dangers of fame, illustrating the challenges actors faced in early television, long before the protections and protocols that modern stars enjoy. Fame brought fortune, yes, but also fear and relentless scrutiny. Through it all, Vivian Vance maintained her identity, resilience, and humor, turning her experiences into performances that were both authentic and enduring. After years of navigating the pressures of early television, Vivian Vance faced one of the most difficult decisions of her career, leaving I Love Lucy. By the mid-1960s, she had achieved fame and recognition, but at a significant personal cost. Despite the Emmy Award, the millions of fans who adored her, and professional success that many would envy, Vivian felt constrained and creatively stifled. The role of Ethel Mertz, while iconic, had become both a blessing and a cage. She was forever identified with the character, and the public often forgot the versatile actress she had been before television made her a household name. Her professional relationships were also strained. While she and Lucille Ball had developed a working friendship, creative tensions occasionally flared, with Ball maintaining tight control over the show and its comedic vision. Meanwhile, the friction with William Frawley, her on-screen husband, had never truly dissipated. The ongoing tension with Frawley, combined with pressures of fame and the weight of public expectation, made her decision to leave not only brave, but necessary for her own well-being. In 1965, at the height of her television success, Vivian walked away from the security and comfort of her second television role, shocking both Hollywood insiders and fans alike. She understood that this choice meant giving up fame, steady income, and the opportunity to continue in a role that had defined her for more than a decade. Yet, she chose personal peace and professional integrity over convenience and profit. Vivian's departure was not a retreat, but a deliberate step toward reclaiming control over her career and life. Her confidence in making that choice reflected the inner strength she had cultivated since childhood, when her creativity was suppressed, and she learned early on to fight for her dreams. Even before leaving the show, Vivian had begun to prove her versatility outside the I Love Lucy universe. Between 1960 and 1962, she appeared on the Red Skelton Hour, participating in sketches that highlighted her comedic and dramatic range. In one memorable sketch, she played Clara Appleby, a sharp and witty character whose humor and charm reminded audiences and industry professionals alike that Vivian was more than Ethel Mertz. These appearances showcase her ability to command attention independently, further validating her decision to step away from a show that had, in many ways, confined her to a single identity. After leaving television, Vivian attempted a return to Broadway in 1966 with Woody Allen's Don't Drink the Water. This comeback, however, proved challenging. Despite her proven talent, she was replaced during early previews, a decision that was publicly humiliating and emotionally painful. Being rejected in front of critics and peers reignited feelings of limitation and typecasting, emphasizing the difficulty of escaping the long shadow of her television persona. Yet, even in the face of disappointment, Vivian persevered. She found stability in more commercial ventures, such as the Maxwell House coffee commercials during the 1970s, where she played the cheerful Maxine. These roles allowed her to maintain a presence in the public eye, while also providing consistent work and income. Though less glamorous than Broadway or television, these commercials demonstrated her professionalism and ability to adapt to different performance environments. Vivian's later career highlighted a combination of resilience, practicality, and unwavering dedication to her craft. She accepted roles that were within her reach while continuing to protect her personal and professional boundaries. Her story during this period also illustrates the challenges faced by women in entertainment at the time, who often had to choose between fame, financial security, and personal satisfaction. Vivian consistently chose to prioritize her well-being and creative integrity over blind pursuit of success. Beyond her performances, she remained a figure of influence and inspiration. She had experienced abuse, professional setbacks, and typecasting, yet she never let these experiences define her entirely. Instead, she used them to shape her career, her choices, and the authenticity she brought to every role. Her legacy is one of courage, intelligence, and artistry. She proved that even in the face of immense public expectation and personal adversity, one can remain true to oneself, fight for fairness, and continue creating meaningful work. Vivian Vance's story is not only a tale of entertainment history, but a lesson in resilience, self-respect, and determination, showing generations of actors, especially women, that success is measured not only in fame or recognition, but in the ability to maintain one's dignity, integrity, and individuality amidst relentless challenges in the years following her departure from the Lucy show. Vivian Vance continued to navigate the complex world of entertainment, balancing her desire for meaningful work with the realities of an industry that often typecast her. Though she had achieved iconic status as Ethel Mertz, her heart remained tied to the stage and the roles that allowed her to explore her range as an actress. Vivian's early Broadway experience had instilled in her a love for live performance and musical theater, and despite the challenges she faced with casting and public expectations, she remained committed to pursuing work that challenged her creatively. Throughout the 1970s, she embraced commercial work, most notably as a cheerful Maxine in Maxwell House coffee advertisements. While some critics may have viewed these roles as less prestigious than Broadway or television, Vivian approached them with professionalism, humor, and the same commitment she had brought to I Love Lucy. She understood that maintaining visibility and financial stability was crucial, especially for women in Hollywood, who often faced ageism and limited opportunities. At the same time, Vivian never abandoned her personal advocacy and interest in supporting others. Her own experiences with mental health, including therapy and recovery from her early breakdown, gave her a unique perspective. She visited psychiatric hospitals, not to present herself as a celebrity or a savior, but as someone who had endured similar struggles. She offered reassurance to patients that they were not alone, sharing her story quietly and empathetically. This compassion became a defining feature of her legacy, reflecting a depth of character that went far beyond her on-screen persona. Even as Vivian adapted to new roles and challenges, she remained keenly aware of the limitations imposed on her by fame. The public often struggled to see her as anything other than Ethel Mertz, despite her talent, beauty, and versatility. This tension between identity and perception was a constant companion. Yet Vivian faced it with resilience, humor, and dignity. She understood that her legacy was not simply about playing a beloved character, but about the cumulative impact of her work, her courage in demanding respect and fair treatment, and her ability to maintain personal integrity in an industry that could be ruthless. Over time, she began to embrace this duality, finding pride in the fact that millions loved her as Ethel, while also quietly celebrating her own artistic achievements behind the scenes. Her story also offers insight into the evolution of television and the entertainment industry in mid-20th century America. Vivian was part of a pioneering generation of performers who helped shape the medium, working in an era without modern protection for actors or established protocols for handling fame. The pressure she faced, from on-set tensions and grueling production schedules to the invasive attention of fans, highlight the unique challenges of being a female performer at the forefront of early television comedy. Despite these pressures, Vivian consistently demonstrated resilience and professionalism. She negotiated fair pay, advocated for creative input, and refused to compromise her self-respect, all while delivering performances that were funny, heartfelt, and unforgettable. Perhaps one of the most remarkable aspects of Vivian's journey is the way she transformed personal adversity into artistry. From a childhood spent under strict rules and the disapproval of her mother to abusive relationships and professional obstacles, she repeatedly faced situations that might have defeated a lesser person. Yet, she channeled these experiences into her work, bringing authenticity, depth, and humor to her roles. Even moments that were physically exhausting or emotionally challenging, like the Chocolate Factory episode or performing under difficult filming conditions, were approached with commitment and ingenuity. Vivian Vance's story is ultimately one of perseverance, self-respect, and the pursuit of creative fulfillment. She demonstrated that success is not measured solely by fame or awards, but by the ability to navigate life's challenges with courage and integrity. Her contributions to television, theater, and popular culture endure, not just through the iconic character of Ethel Mertz, but through the lessons her life provides. That resilience, talent, and authenticity are invaluable, and that personal integrity should never be sacrificed for convenience or recognition. Through her journey, Vivian Vance remains a role model, illustrating the power of determination, the importance of self-worth, and the enduring impact of embracing one's passion despite the obstacles life presents. As the 1970s and early 1980s progressed, Vivian Vance faced the realities of aging in Hollywood, a challenge that affected many women in the industry, particularly those whose fame was tied to specific roles. Though she had achieved enduring recognition as Ethel Mertz, she also confronted the frustration of being permanently linked to a single character. Offers for dramatic roles became scarce, and the industry often preferred younger talent for leading parts. Despite these limitations, Vivian approached the stage of her life with grace, humor, and a pragmatic attitude. She continued to embrace work that allowed her to remain visible and connected to audiences, even if the roles were less glamorous than those of her earlier career. The Maxwell House coffee commercials remained a consistent presence, allowing her to maintain income and public engagement, while also offering a sense of routine and stability. Beyond her professional life, Vivian's personal health began to emerge as a significant concern. Years of stress, physical demands, and emotional strain had taken a toll. She developed hypertension and other age-related health issues that required careful management. These challenges did not deter her entirely from performing, but they did influence the pace and type of work she could accept. Vivian's focus gradually shifted from seeking larger roles to cherishing opportunities that allowed her to work on her own terms, maintain her dignity, and preserve her well-being. During this period, she also devoted more time to personal reflection and connection with family and friends. She valued the private moments of life that fame had sometimes obscured, the simple joys of conversation, laughter, and companionship. Her experience in the entertainment industry had given her a unique perspective on fame, relationships, and the fleeting nature of public attention. She became increasingly candid about the realities of Hollywood, sharing her experiences in interviews and with peers, offering insight into both the triumphs and the costs of a life in the spotlight. These reflections highlighted her wisdom, resilience, and capacity for introspection. Vivian also became an advocate for other performers navigating the challenges she had faced. She mentored younger actors, providing guidance on managing the pressures of television, stage, and film work, and encouraged them to maintain their self-respect and insist on fair treatment. Her advice emphasized professionalism, perseverance, and the importance of balancing career ambition with personal well-being, lessons she had learned through decades of triumphs, setbacks, and hard-earned experience. Despite the challenges of aging and health issues, Vivian Vance's legacy continued to grow. She remained a symbol of comedic brilliance and trailblazing determination, her work in I Love Lucy immortalized as a cornerstone of television history. Fans and industry insiders alike recognized the immense contribution she had made to the medium, from her nuanced comedic timing to her ability to elevate supporting roles into memorable, beloved characters. Her life story also serves as a testament to the broader experience of women in Hollywood, who often had to fight for recognition, fair pay, and creative control. Vivian's persistence in demanding respect, negotiating contracts, and asserting her artistic vision set a precedent for future generations of performers. As she aged, she embraced her legacy with a mix of pride and realism, understanding both the limitations and the power of the industry that shaped her life. Even as she faced declining health, her spirit and humor remained intact, and she continued to participate in interviews, fan events, and retrospectives celebrating her work. These engagements allowed her to connect with a new generation of viewers who discovered her through reruns, syndication, and the growing interest in classic television. Vivian Vance's final years were a blend of reflection, appreciation, and the quiet satisfaction of a life dedicated to performance and artistry. She had experienced the extremes of fame and adversity, from being a Broadway ingenue to navigating the pressures of early television, from personal heartbreak to professional triumph. Through it all, she maintained her integrity, resilience, and humor. When she passed away in 1979, at the age of 70, the entertainment world mourned a true pioneer. Yet her influence persisted, not only through the iconic character of Ethel Mertz, but through the example she set as a talented, dedicated, and courageous woman in an industry often unforgiving to those who dared to assert themselves. Her story remains a source of inspiration, a reminder of the power of perseverance, authenticity, and the enduring impact of one person's dedication to her craft and principles. Vivian Vance's impact on television and popular culture extends far beyond her portrayal of Ethel Mertz. She helped redefine what it meant to be a supporting actress in early television, showing that secondary characters could be as memorable, beloved, and essential to a show's success as the leads. Before I Love Lucy, supporting roles were often overlooked, undervalued, and underpaid, particularly for women. Vivian challenged that perception through her talent, professionalism, and insistence on fair compensation. Her Emmy win in 1953 not only marked a personal triumph, but also represented a broader cultural shift, emphasizing that television was an ensemble art form and that every performer contributed meaningfully to the audience's experience. Moreover, Vivian's comedic timing, expressive gestures, and nuanced reactions helped elevate the material, turning simple sitcom moments into enduring comedic masterpieces. She had a gift for balancing humor with subtle emotion, making Ethel Mertz a fully realized, relatable character rather than a mere foil to Lucy's antics. This skill inspired countless performers in the generations that followed, from stage actors transitioning to television to modern sitcom stars, learning the craft of ensemble comedy. Beyond her on-screen contributions, Vivian's story underscores the challenges faced by women navigating an industry dominated by men and limited by outdated societal expectations. From her childhood in Kansas, where her mother discouraged her love for performing, to her adult career negotiating pay and creative control, Vivian exemplified courage and determination. She refused to compromise her integrity, whether dealing with on-set conflicts, abusive relationships, or public misconceptions about her body and appearance. For example, the long-perpetuated myth that she signed a contract to gain weight to make Lucille Ball appear thinner demonstrates the challenges women faced in controlling their own narratives. Vivian's insistence on correcting the record and living authentically reflects a broader lesson about self-advocacy and personal agency. Her work also contributed to shaping the comedic language of television. The interplay between Lucy and Ethel, with its mix of slapstick, timing, and genuine emotion, set a template for future sitcoms. The Chocolate Factory episode, often studied by comedy writers and historians, illustrates her ability to combine physical humor with subtle facial expressions and timing that heightened the comedic tension. These performances demonstrated a level of professionalism and preparation that was rare for the era, as actors often had to adapt to the unpredictable nature of early television production. In addition, Vivian's willingness to speak openly about her struggles with mental health, personal abuse, and professional setbacks was pioneering. At a time when such topics were rarely discussed publicly, she modeled honesty and resilience, showing that vulnerability could coexist with strength. Her advocacy, both subtle and direct, paved the way for future performers to address similar issues and seek help without shame. Culturally, Vivian Vance became an icon of a bygone era, a symbol of both the glamour and the grit of mid-20th century entertainment. She embodied the triumphs and struggles of women in Hollywood, demonstrating that talent, integrity, and perseverance could overcome, or at least navigate, systemic obstacles. Her enduring popularity is evident not only in reruns of I Love Lucy, but in the continued admiration of comedy enthusiasts, historians, and casual viewers alike. By staying true to her craft, asserting her worth, and refusing to be defined solely by a single role, Vivian left a legacy that is both inspirational and instructive. She showed that success is multidimensional, combining recognition, personal satisfaction, and the respect of peers, and that a performer's impact can extend long after the cameras stop rolling. Vivian Vance's life and career remain a blueprint for navigating the complexities of fame, gender, and artistry, reminding audiences that behind every beloved character is a talented, dedicated individual who worked tirelessly to bring laughter, authenticity, and humanity to screens around the world. Her story continues to resonate today, a testament to her enduring influence on television comedy and the broader entertainment landscape. Even decades after her death, Vivian Vance's legacy continues to influence television, comedy, and popular culture. Reruns of I Love Lucy introduced her performances to generations who had never seen the show during its original airing, allowing her work to reach new audiences and remain culturally relevant. Scholars and comedy historians often cite Vivian's portrayal of Ethel Mertz as a masterclass in ensemble performance, demonstrating how a supporting character can provide depth, contrast, and essential timing to elevate the lead. Modern sitcoms, from Friends to The Office, carry traces of the dynamic she helped perfect. The partner or side character whose presence both complements and challenges the main character, creating tension, humor, and relatability. Beyond the technical contributions to comedy, Vivian's career serves as a historical record of the evolving role of women in entertainment. Her experiences highlight the systemic challenges female performers faced in mid-20th century Hollywood, including typecasting, pay disparities, and a lack of creative control. By refusing to settle for unfair treatment, negotiating her salary, demanding respect, and insisting on creative input, Vivian quietly became a trailblazer for women in the industry. Today, she is remembered not only for her iconic roles, but also for her courage in asserting her professional worth in an era when such assertiveness was rare and often discouraged. Fans and actors alike celebrate her authenticity, resilience, and dedication to her craft. Awards and recognitions continue to honor her contributions. While she received a first Emmy for supporting actress during her lifetime, posthumous tributes and retrospectives often highlight her pioneering impact, preserving her memory for future generations. Documentaries, interviews with surviving colleagues, and retrospectives on classic television frequently reference her work, underscoring how her talent and determination helped define the early years of television comedy. Additionally, her influence is evident in the way contemporary performers approach supporting roles. Modern actors study her timing, gestures, and delivery to understand how secondary characters can shape a story and enrich the audience's experience. Her techniques, once considered standard practice only for seasoned professionals, are now taught in acting schools and workshops, ensuring that her legacy endures both in media and in the training of future performers. Beyond her professional achievements, Vivian's story offers lessons in personal integrity, resilience, and self-respect. She endured hardships, abusive relationships, typecasting, physical and emotional strain on set, but consistently prioritized her dignity and mental health. Her decision to leave the Lucy show, despite fame and financial security, exemplifies the courage it takes to choose personal well-being over public approval. These choices resonate today, especially for professionals navigating high-pressure environments. Moreover, Vivian's advocacy, mentorship, and quiet generosity left an imprint on those around her. She shared wisdom, supported younger actors, and provided guidance on navigating the challenges of fame and performance. Even small gestures, such as visiting psychiatric hospitals to connect with those experiencing mental health struggles, reflected her empathy and commitment to using her experiences for positive impact. Her life demonstrates that success is multidimensional. Fame, awards, and public recognition are important, but so are authenticity, self-respect, and the ability to maintain one's values in the face of pressure. Vivian Vance's story reminds us that even supporting roles can carry immense influence, and that courage, integrity, and perseverance leave a legacy that endures far beyond the screen. In an era when television was rapidly evolving and the role of women in entertainment was still constrained, Vivian carved a path defined by talent, resilience, and principled decision-making. The lessons she offers continue to resonate. That laughter can be transformative, that integrity matters more than convenience, and that a performer's impact is measured not just by the characters they portray, but by the choices they make, the people they inspire, and the art they leave behind. Today, Vivian Vance remains a symbol of strength, creativity, and the enduring power of a performer who refused to be defined by circumstance, leaving an indelible mark on both television history and the broader cultural imagination. Vivian Vance's enduring presence in popular culture is also reflected in the countless tributes, retrospectives, and fan celebrations that continue to honor her life and work. Fans of I Love Lucy have kept her memory alive through fan clubs, social media groups, and online communities dedicated to classic television. These communities not only celebrate the humor and charm of her performances, but also explore the deeper aspects of her life story. Her struggles, resilience, and the barriers she overcame as a woman in a male-dominated industry. Annual events, screenings, and conventions bring together enthusiasts who admire Vivian's contributions and recognize her role in shaping the comedy genre. Moreover, television networks and streaming services that air I Love Lucy often include special features, interviews, and commentary highlighting her influence, ensuring that new generations of viewers appreciate her artistry. Documentaries on television history frequently spotlight Vivian, framing her not just as Ethel Mertz, but as a pioneering actress whose career provides insight into the evolution of American entertainment. Scholars, critics, and historians analyze her performances to understand the nuances of comedic timing, the dynamics of ensemble casts, and the cultural significance of early television. These analyses often highlight her ability to balance humor with emotional depth, showing that her impact extends beyond laughs to shaping how stories and characters resonate with audiences. In addition to academic recognition, Vivian's influence is felt in how contemporary actors approach supporting roles. Many performers cite her work as a guide for creating memorable secondary characters who leave a lasting impression. Her performances demonstrate that supporting actors can be central to a show's success, challenging the notion that only leading roles matter. This has encouraged modern television writers, directors, and producers to invest in the development of supporting characters, acknowledging that they can enrich the narrative, create chemistry, and contribute significantly to audience engagement. Vivian's story also serves as an inspirational example for women in entertainment. Her career reflects the importance of asserting one's worth, demanding fair treatment, and refusing to be confined by societal expectations. She navigated complex workplace dynamics, overcame typecasting, and insisted on respect, all while delivering performances that entertain millions. Her legacy encourages women today to advocate for themselves, embrace their talents fully, and pursue careers with courage and determination. Beyond the professional sphere, Vivian Vance's personal resilience offers lessons for navigating life's broader challenges. She endured childhood strictness, personal loss, and the pressures of fame, yet she maintained her integrity and continued to contribute meaningfully to her craft. Her experiences with mental health, advocacy, and mentorship underscore the importance of empathy, self-awareness, and a desire to support others. These qualities, combined with her talent and professionalism, make her story not just one of entertainment history, but of human perseverance and moral courage. Even decades after her passing, her work continues to inspire, entertain, and educate. Classic episodes of I Love Lucy are still referenced in modern comedies, showing the timelessness of her humor and the universality of her performances. Her influence extends beyond acting to shaping cultural perceptions of women in comedy, demonstrating that intelligence, wit, and skill are as vital as charm or glamour. Through her life, Vivian Vance exemplifies the idea that artistry and character are inseparable, that the legacy of a performer is measured not only by the roles they play, but by the impact they leave on colleagues, audiences, and future generations. Today, historians, fans, and aspiring actors alike continue to study, celebrate, and learn from her work, ensuring that Vivian Vance's contributions to television, comedy, and popular culture remain relevant, respected, and cherished. Her journey, marked by triumph, struggle, creativity, and integrity, stands as a powerful reminder that success is not just about fame or accolades, but about the courage to define one's path, the talent to leave a mark, and the perseverance to keep contributing to one's art despite obstacles. In this way, Vivian Vance continues to live on, not only in the laughter of her performances, but in the lessons she imparted through her life and legacy, inspiring audiences and performers for generations to come. Looking back on Vivian Vance's life, it is clear that her story is more than a tale of a beloved television character. It is a portrait of resilience, courage, and artistry that transcends the screen. From her early years in Kansas, where strict rules and a mother who viewed acting as sinful threatened to extinguish her natural spark, Vivian showed determination and a refusal to let circumstance dictate her path. She chased her dreams with relentless focus, leaving home as a young woman to pursue theater in New York, enduring rejection, financial struggles, and personal setbacks along the way. Each challenge became a building block in her career, shaping the performer she would become and preparing her for the unique pressures of early television fame. Her work on I Love Lucy brought her into the homes of millions, and her portrayal of Ethel Mertz was so compelling, so human, that it transformed the notion of a supporting role forever. Yet, behind the laughter and the charm was a woman navigating a complex world. Conflict with co-stars, persistent industry myths, and the personal pain of abusive relationships and professional setbacks. Through it all, Vivian maintained her integrity and insisted on being treated fairly, setting a precedent for women in television and for performers everywhere. Her decision to walk away from the Lucy show at the height of her fame exemplifies a rare courage, highlighting the importance of personal well-being over public expectation. Beyond her performances, Vivian's story continues to provide lessons that remain relevant today. She demonstrated that talent alone is not enough. Perseverance, self-respect, and the courage to advocate for oneself are equally essential. Her legacy underscores the significance of supporting actors in storytelling, proving that every role, no matter its size, contributes to the magic of performance. Furthermore, her willingness to speak openly